Okay, welcome to another live webcast. This is James Middick speaking. It's Wednesday at 1 o'clock, middle of July, and this is a live Q&A session. I'm going to be answering some questions here, and of course, if you do have, turn off the other session, turn off the other browser here. If you do have questions, put them in the chat, or if you're watching this later, put them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. So here's what's going to happen today. The topic I want to talk about is all about AI prompts and how you can use them for online courses and or creating or building training sites. So if you do have a question, certainly go and ask. That would be wonderful. And if it's just about a particular WordPress tool or something that you want to use for your online courses, I can certainly take a look at those as well. So here's the whole, my whole gist on all of this AI stuff and how it fits in, is that there is a huge opportunity for us as online course creators, membership site, training site, people wanting to teach online. There's a huge opportunity for us to really take advantage of the amount of content that we can generate and have and be able to share and tailor it to our experiences and what it is that we're trying to get across. But the thing is, with all of it, it takes some skill and a little bit of extra effort to be able to package it in a way that makes sense to our particular market or the people we're trying to help. So this whole idea with, creating a prompt to help you along, it takes not skill. I'm not going to say it takes skill to create good prompts. It takes trial and error to create good prompts. And if we look back and if you look back personally and you look and say, well, when did I use my first AI tool? And what happened when I used my first time I used an AI tool? Often, it goes quickly. So if I look back, I think we're almost a year now since first started using AI tools, and they've dramatically changed since then. So in my personal journey, especially with courses, we internally for the courses I've created and the stuff that we've created for clients and customers, the way that we approached it has changed over time as we got used to making prompts, different styles of prompts, which I covered in another video. But more importantly, how it packages or curates the content with our flavor added to it to create courses that are not only engaging but educational and that you like making, because you have to make content that not only that you're pleased with and that teaches, but I think that you've got to do it so that it's fun and you want to continue to do it. And a course creator technically is a content creator. It just happens that they want to monetize their content in a bit of a structured way. And for training sites, and what I believe is happening with this whole kind of packaging of materials, is that we're in a situation now where the content and the ability to create content and build a community or a group of people who are committed to the same content that you're creating is the real value. And I think personally also it's going to get harder to sell courses. And I'm talking about, a traditional course that you may have sold a year ago or 2 years ago or 10 years ago, because there is so much content. To make that content different, the difference in many cases is you and or the community that are involved in it. So, that building that out takes some energy and some effort, and you're going to have to spend some time doing some trial and error, creating the content that you want, generating that content that you want, and being able to package it in a course or not even in a course. You just create content for the sake of creating content. There's nothing wrong with that. So having said that, if there are any questions, make sure to ask them in the chat. And if there aren't, I'm going to go over some pieces that we get asked on a regular basis and ones that I've had a little bit of experience playing around with. And I think the first thing that I want to do, and I'm just going to look at my notes here just to make sure that I get the kind of the way that this goes, is a lot of people who are just starting out really aren't sure what a chat is or a prompt is using any of these tools. So that first kind of piece that you're asking yourself is, how can I use a particular tool, or how can I use these AI chats, and how do they actually fit in to my business? So the AI tool is basically you having a conversation with a tool. And again, I'll put the links below for the ones that we use. But I'm using the example of ChatGPT. The other one that we use on a regular basis, and I really like, is Claude. They both do similar things. But I always look at it from the having an advisor or someone that you can chat or have a conversation with and noodle things with. And, noodling is just, not having an interview, but asking questions, getting a response, asking for opinions. You can ask for opinions from these AI tools. And an AI tool, all it is like a huge amount of information. And we're asking questions, and in context, it's giving us answers back based on the questions that we asked. So just asking those questions in a certain way changes the way that the response is that we get. And having that conversation and allowing you to refine and work with the answers that you get and the ones that are generated to give you what you want, that's the real experience that we have to spend time and play with it. So think of it as a way to be more creative than you necessarily are in general, and to think of things that you haven't thought of in the past, or different ways at looking at what you look at a regular basis. So just to have a different perspective. And in that conversation, you'll find that you can get led down other paths that are valuable to what it is you're trying to share, but just by sharing it in another way. And because it's like another person having the conversation, you can ask questions, or in that conversation, you can actually find out what other people, it's like target marketing, right? Or looking, or having the AI tool actually tell you what your market thinks. It's not just what you think, it's the questions that your market has. And that's where the real value is trying to figure out, if I'm looking at someone who's starting to use AI tools, what is it that they have as questions? If I'm trying to teach someone how to do a specific skill or a specific task, what are the questions that they have? Why do they have those questions? So it's not about me creating the content at the start. It's about me doing the research of what it is that what people want, and fine-tuning the offer and or the promise that I can make to people in a course or in a membership site or in my education business. So that's kind of the first thing to do. It makes you super efficient. If I remember and I look back at the research that we did, the first book that I wrote was called 52 Secrets My Mom Never Told Me About Internet Marketing. That was in early 2000, I think. And that was a PDF book. I think it was about 300 or 400 pages. It took me 6 months to write. And that one was writing text into Microsoft Word based on experiences that I had, and getting it curated into 52 secrets or 52 tips, and writing that out. The research from that was over a period of time. It was research from my experience that I had done, and being able to put it into a particular structure of a written word and have that put out. AI tools remove that. Those 52 secrets could be created with a simple prompt. And I could go back and look at them and say, is that really a secret that I experienced? Yeah. How did I experience it? And kind of finish that up or adjust what gets told to me by the AI tool. Maybe there's more than 52 secrets. Maybe there's another 52 secrets, so I could have 104 secrets that my mom never told me about internet marketing. Maybe I want to find out about what is a good title for the book. How can I describe the book? What are the other things that I can do with the book? How can I market the book? So just as an example, these are things that we had to research before, but now you don't have to research them other than getting a good prompt together and asking for help for doing that. So not only can be more creative, but it allows you to be a lot quicker and more efficient in your time doing all the things that we normally would do. So that's kind of the first thing. And when you look at a prompt just at the start, and I'll look at some examples of them and on the screen here shortly, is that when you think of a prompt, all it is there's a couple different types of prompts, but I just start with a question. And normally what happens is I just say, tell ChatGPT, I log into one of the tools and I'll show you one of them. I just ask a question and say, I am doing this, or I'm trying to do this, and just ask, what are some of the things that I should think about? Or tell me about that topic. And it's not about doing some fancy prompt. It's just telling ChatGPT, hey, I'm building a course, or hey, I'm thinking about putting a course together, and this is the topic I wanted to spend time on. What do you think I should do? So it's just a quick question about the task that you're trying to do to open up the conversation. And that's kind of the first one that you can do, is kind of looking at that. So the first one that I always look at is to kind of open the door or start the conversation. So let me go and we'll actually, let's go open up. We'll open up another browser here, and we'll just open up a tab on the other screen, and we'll open up, put it over here. Let's open this up, and we should be able to see it here. So this one, I'm just on, there's two that you can use, or two that I recommend using. The first one is ChatGPT, of course, which I have open in another browser window on another app, but this one I'm just going to use Claude. I'll log into Claude. I have a paid account here. And this one has a whole bunch of additional features that you don't need to get started. But the big one that you're going to see with this one is the ability to have projects, which isn't available in the free one, which is organizing all of your information about a specific topic or a specific project, and having that context stay with the project and the prompts that you use in that one. And the other one is artifacts, which actually keeps content, actual code or whatever gets generated, as separate documents that you can use and copy later. So let's go take a look at this one here, and let's start a new chat. We'll do a new one. And if I scroll and I just want to do a particular chat here, there's some recent ones. Let's go and do, there's one that I had done before. There's an interesting one. There's a big mega prompt that's there. And on this one, I'm going to just say, just going to do a basic prompt to open it up, and it's letting it know. So all I said was I'm creating a course on how to create online courses using AI tools like Claude.ai and ChatGPT. Any ideas? So I'm just asking. All I did is I opened the conversation, right? I just asked. And it gives me some ideas on some of the things that are important on its particular idea. So I can play around with this. I look at it and I'm just going, I'm just fine-tune a little bit and just say this was focused on beginners I just said, if it's focused on beginners, how would you structure it? So again, it's just a conversation about doing what it is you're wanting to do and just getting some feedback from it. So, it's just telling some of the different things that you can answer in a particular course. And you may think, well, this is a syllabus. Well, there's other things that you can do to fine-tune the conversation that you're having, and those are some additional kinds of prompts. And I'll show you some of the prompts here. I'll pull another screen over. Just some examples of some prompts that we use. And these prompts are available on the trainingsite.io site in the documents. We have some of the ones open. And, just some general prompts. One of the ones that most people use or a lot of people use, or you may have been taught, is called a role prompt. So you are a copywriter, as an example. This one says you are a copywriter who specializes in writing high converting sales copy for massage therapy clinics. So you're giving the role, a specific role of what it is you're doing, but you're giving the role to the AI tool. You're saying, so you're saying, ChatGPT, act as if you are an expert course writer, or you are an expert community manager for my training site, or you are an expert teacher for beginners wanting to learn about or wanting to teach about. So it's giving that role to tell people, hey, this is kind of where we're at. This is what I'm doing, but I want you to pretend that you're the expert. I'm not the expert. I want to get your opinion on what the expert is. And then you want to give it a task. So I need a blog post that discusses the benefits of for beginners. And as an example, and what I want you to do is a task. So this gets a little more specific, right? These are the ones that say, you know what? I have a particular course that I want to lay out. I know what the steps are because technically I'm the expert on it. I want to get a little bit of feedback from ChatGPT about my process, the way that I kind of look at it. What are the things that I follow as any other ideas that are there? And you can say, you can always upload, for example, with these tools now, you can upload a document with your process and steps. So if you have a set of steps that you create, or if you have a PDF document that is about what it is your course is about, your current course, maybe you do it live, maybe you don't do it online, maybe it's something that you do while you're doing live coaching calls. But if you have a process, you can upload that and just say, this is what I'm currently doing. How can I change that? What are the things that you think I can improve if you are an expert teacher? So it's giving the actual role of the person that you want to have a response back from. You're telling them the situation and what you're trying to do, and then you're asking for an answer back. And that important part is just figuring out the role of who you want ChatGPT or Claude to act like, and then what is it that you want back from it. And then giving that particular task about, how do you want it formatted? What do you want it to look like? Do you want it to be a table, or do you want it to be bullet points? Do you want to be, bullet points with a description and an example? Or how is it important for you to get that content back before you actually start creating it? One of the other cool tricks is, if you're not sure what to do, is you can always you've got that prompt there, you just say it, and you say, let's go back and open this one up. We've got one here, and I'm just going to say, you're an expert at teaching online and creating online courses for beginners who are experts in their fields. You're an expert at teaching online and creating online courses for beginners who are experts in their fields. You just say they are looking for some great prompts, or efficient, or whatever word you want to put here. I'm just going to write this off. So I'm putting it here. So I'll just say what we looked at. We open this up again. Just make sure we're on this page here. It says you're an expert at teaching online and creating online courses for beginners who are experts in their fields. They are looking for some efficient prompts that they can use to research and for some online. So I'm giving it there, and I'm just saying what I want them to do is I want you to create 5 prompts that they can use to get started. So I'm asking ChatGPT to actually create the prompts here, right? It's not me creating the prompt, it's ChatGPT creating the prompt for me. So if you're kind of stuck, one of the things you can always do if you're getting the role, you're not getting the answers you want, you're a bit afraid to get started, is you can go and say, hey, can you create the prompts for me? And it actually creates the actual prompts that you can use moving forward. So that's kind of a neat thing to think about when you're doing all of this. And you can see that it's actually got documents for me that are created for all of the different things that you might want to consider having ChatGPT do when you're building out the online course. Now, I'm talking about online courses here, but you can remember that ChatGPT or these AI tools can be used throughout the entire process of creating online courses, creating training sites, marketing your business, creating social media posts, creating launch sequences, creating support desk answers. Anytime you're creating content, don't be afraid to ask the AI tool to create the prompts for you if you're getting stuck or you don't know how to have stuff done. So here's the prompt. Create a compelling marketing description for the course. So this is what it's trying to do. And I'm asking, and I say, create an attention-grabbing headline of 10 words or less. So I can just copy and paste this and put it into a particular prompt. These can be prompts that you can fine-tune, you can combine. They don't have to be set. And when you're stuck, the other thing you can always do is just say, for example, I like, and this is just one that I've used on the past that I quite like using. It's just like, I like the course marketing description that you created. Is that the best? Is that the best you can do? So I just ask it again for a fine tuning of the want that you want. And you can see that it's just giving a little bit of a different prompt here that is more specific, more detailed compared to the previous one. So you can ask ChatGPT if you're okay with it. If you don't know what to say, just ask it how you should structure the prompt to do what it is that you're doing. And then after that, ask ChatGPT to fine tune or ask it again to give you a better or more detailed one out the door. So these are a couple simple ways that you can get started with ChatGPT. These are easy ones to play around with. And the goal here, I think, is just to spend time with this personally, have some fun with them, and get used to the prompts that work for you, that get the responses that you want, and the number of prompts that you need to get an answer that you're comfortable with. There's, I think, kind of the interesting thing for me is that when you're first starting, and especially you're creating your first course or you're starting with your course, you go and say, I have to have a perfect lesson or a perfect topic or something along those lines. And I don't think that's necessarily true. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be, in most cases, better than good or better than the same as everyone else with your flavor to it. So I think you're going to find that there's a series of questions that you ask or a series of steps that you ask when you are prompting and using AI tools like ChatGPT and Claude, that you'll have you'll learn how you get enough of an answer to use or have content that you can use when you're actually filling in the content for your courses. So those are the ones that I kind of just, and again, I'll put these in a document in the notes below, in the comments below. So if you want to pick those up, you certainly can. And remember, I've got a number of prompts and stuff that are available at trainingsite.io and the documents there, talking about some of the different things that might be of interest to you when you're creating these prompts. One of the other things that we just did, just to give you an example, is I did one from that I used, open up a prompt, online courses. I actually did a YouTube video, and from the YouTube video, I asked ChatGPT how to create an online course based on the YouTube video. And the YouTube video that I did was on 4 types of AI prompts that you can use. And I actually had it create an online course based on the YouTube video. And use that just using prompts that I generated during the YouTube video to create an online course for it. So once you kind of get the hang of these, you can see that we've got here in the course. This course is free right now too. If you're interested in it, you can take it. But the whole thing is here is once you get kind of comfortable with that, you can create as much content as you want, as quickly as you want, for the purposes that you want. And you know, when you're looking at it from an education business, you got to kind of decide, okay, I got the prompts, I understand how things work. Where does it fit into my business model? Do I need a course for this? Is it something for marketing material? What am I going to do with it? So creating all of these prompts and getting them kind of scheduled in for the content you create, just make sure you understand the purpose of it. Is it for a course, or is it for something other than a course? For example, is it something that I'm going to go and use when I'm creating marketing material? Because there's a lot more to creating online courses and having a training site and building an education business than there is to just having an AI prompt to create a course. And just to give you an example of some of these, I had some of the ones pulled out here. And again, these are just examples. And I did this for today. So here's one. Let me just pull up these ones here. Let me just do one here. I'm just going to pull up a list for you. Here's one here, and I just did this one up. I'll show it on a page here. This particular one, open a little bigger. I just had the ChatGPT app open, and I said, this is intended for live questions. What are some example prompts that I can use? And this one said, getting started with AI prompts. These are actual prompts that ChatGPT gave me that you can use to get started. So how do you start using AI prompts if you're completely new to this? So you can just go and ask it, what are some prompts? Can you give me an example of using an AI prompt for generating course content? You know, creating course content, choosing the right tools to use. These are all things that are over and above, you know, creating an actual course. How do I build a membership site? What are the pieces that I use? How do I make it more human? What are practical tips and best practices? There's also things about what are future trends, considerations, and then audience engagement and next steps. So you can ask prompts for all of the different steps or all of the different processes that are involved in creating the online courses, just if you kind of get yours that are put together in a way or a process that helps you out for the purpose that you're trying to play with. So those are the kind of the big things that, you know, if you're just starting out, I want you to kind of noodle around and write down the prompts that you use in the process that you put together. And just remember, at the important part for me is understanding, why am I creating this content? What's the purpose of the content? Is it just for learning and educating myself? Or am I generating content for one of the tasks that I have in my education business? And is this prompt for creating the content or course content? And what are the pieces of the course content that I need to cover? Whether it be creating the title, the description, the sales page, the marketing emails, the quizzes, the course examples, the case studies. Those all have their own set of prompts that you're going to have to play around with and fit into, or kind of understand how you can use the tools to do that. But my personal kind of choice is a conversational one, to make it as something that comes naturally and allows you in that conversation to say, hey, I was thinking about this, or I normally do this, or this is the way I like to do things, or the questions my normal customers or target market have are these. Do you think they have other questions? Are these questions valid? So having that conversation back and forth is the way to not only do your research quickly, but it gives you a lot more, or a wider or more breadth or wider view of perhaps the interest that the people that you're trying to sell these courses or provide these courses have. So those are kind of, you know, neat things to kind of think about. I was just lesson plans, lecture content, even the scripts for the videos that you're doing, creating things like the PowerPoint presentations and slides. These are all things that you can use using AI tools. Now, I've talked about ChatGPT in this case and also Claude, but there's other tools that you can use for the other pieces of your course, right? So general AI tools, the ones that I've mentioned are ChatGPT and Claude. I always kind of stumble on that one. But there's AI tools that you can use to generate slide decks, for example, or faceless videos, or PowerPoint decks, or any of the content that you're creating. There's beautiful.ai, and I've done a number of videos on these. I'll put the links to them below. But there's DALL-E, custom visuals. You can actually use ones like Canva has AI tools that will help you do this. There's Lumen 5. There's I think it's Beautify or Beautiful.ai, which actually creates slide decks. There's tools like Opus Pro. There's a whole bunch of separate AI tools for specific parts of your course creation. And that general content using Claude or ChatGPT is often enough, but you may want to get more specific on some of the pieces that get recommended as things that you include in the course, and use separate AI tools for that. Some of the things like quizzes as well, and keeping engaging content, those ones can be a little bit tougher for general tools like Claude and ChatGPT, so you may want to go and use some of the other ones. There's one, I think there's one called Mentimeter, which has online polls as an example that you can have built in or added into your lessons and your course topics. Any of the quiz content that gets added can be, the questions and answers are pretty straightforward, but if you want something more interactive, there's some other tools that you want to do it. The other one, for example, that I've seen, and I did a video on this one, I think is called Kahoot. And Kahoot is one that actually puts interactive games that can be embedded directly in your course material. Synesthesia is another great one for adding videos with avatars, so replacing yourself. Instead of having a slide deck, you can actually have yourself replaced in the content that you're creating. Descript is another great one that can be used to create more content and edit the content. If you're recording live streams or YouTube videos and you want to repurpose them, some of the stuff you might want to remove, or you might want to use the actual transcriptions or edit based on the transcriptions. Those are great tools that you can use as well. And then the actual platform that you use to distribute the courses. I did a video, or I don't know if it's published yet, but I think it should be available soon. I look at this from the purpose, or from the point of a real estate owner when it comes to online courses and training sites. It's like you can own your education business and courses and content, or you can rent spaces for it. So if you're owning it, you have it on your own platform that you host and you manage, and we use WordPress on that one. There's some other ones, for example, Moodle can be installed on your own servers where you're actually own the content. It's on your platform. You make changes when you want to how that actual platform works, or you rent space, and you can rent space on additional tools like circle.so or heartbeat.chat. Those are ones that are prepackaged places to host where you can add your content, but that whole platform of either owning it yourself or renting space on another platform, those all have AI tools now that allow you to fine-tune the content that is put on that. Even things like doing research, I talked about using an AI prompt for doing that and using the general tools. There's also tools like Answer the Public, which you can ask questions of. Perplexity, which is another AI tool where you can do more research and get things more open. So these are really, really cool tools. It's getting comfortable using them. And that's where you have to practice and play around. Now, I have paid versions on this. Do you have to have paid versions? No, absolutely not. Do they add some additional features? Yeah, sure they do. open up a ChatGPT account if you haven't already. Open up a Claude account. Their Facebook one, Llama 3.1, I just got announced yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. That one apparently is quite powerful. That will really be great moving forward. So these things are all kind of cool stuff that you have available to you if you start playing around. Now, if there's other questions, what are some of the other ones that I kind of did here? Here's one that I'll show you this one just because when you output the content or the work that you're using with these AI tools, here's one that I put together just so that you can see it. And what I did is I asked ChatGPT, I said, what I want you to do is I asked a question, and I said in this case, just to give you a little bit of I said, create a list of tasks online course creators and people wanting to teach online need to do. With each task, identify if AI can be used and 2 example prompts. Output your answer in a table format. And this is what I got back. So AI applications and example prompts to use to get started. And that just gives you, and I'll put this table below that you can have it. I'll put it actually as a document, put it in the comments below. It's just an example of how you can get started with some conversational draft posts or prompts and spend some time with that. So I think I'm going to wrap it up for today. If there's any more questions, put them in the comments below. For beginner AI prompts and stuff to get started with, I think this is a super way to really play around and have some fun with it. Again, the opportunity for you to create online courses and online training businesses and education businesses is huge. Getting some help with it, speeding things up, making yourself more efficient is easier than ever now. And if you want to find out more about this, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We do these live webcasts every day during the week. And there's additional courses at trainingsites.ai/library, but if you go to the site, you'll see the courses menu across the top. So that's if you want to learn it yourself. And if you just don't have time, you don't want to muck around with this, you just want a membership site or training site built, you want research done for and with you, and you want an online course created, done for and or with you, we can use these tools to do that for you, and that's the agency side of our business. So go to trainingsites.io/talk. It's on the screen there below. Book some time with us. I'd love to talk to you about your project and see how you can start, build, and grow your education business. This is James Maduke. We'll be back tomorrow. Take care and expect the best.